I'm here to tell the story of how my daughter was sentenced to death here at Long Beach Memorial Hospital. My daughter came in on a Sunday night with a pain crisis. Yes, she has sickle cell anemia. She got perfect care at Long Beach Memorial Children's Hospital. They're very good with children with sickle cell. 21 years of coming to this hospital to die next door. This is my daughter's medical summary for the 3 days she was in the hospital. This is the proof that everything I said is correct. I will post this along with my video. Her first doctor, Dr. Polanco, knew that my daughter had sickle cell anemia. The doctor examined my daughter. All her tests and observations were regular. Dr. Polanco ordered pain medication and IV fluid for my daughter, but he did not order a blood transfusion, which is usual for children with sickle cell. He indicated in the medical records that my daughter's white blood cells were elevated to 20,000 and that there was no infection. The next time the doctor examined my daughter was January 24th at 7:15 in the morning. He noticed that my daughter was having a hard time breathing. The same morning, 6 hours later, they finally ordered my daughter to have a blood transfusion and oxygen given to her. Dr. Polanco asked my daughter that morning, did she vomit? She said yes. He indicated in the medical records that he did not know that. Dr. Polanco previously in his discharge summary said there was no sign of infection. Then on January the 24th at 1 p.m., Dr. Polanco said that my daughter was suffering from infection and put her on different medication. Dr. Polanco and Dr. Tanya decided that my daughter needed oxygen. In her medical summary, they did not mention giving her oxygen. On January the 24th at 8 p.m., I arrived back at the hospital to spend the night with my daughter. But being in that small enclosed room, I felt like I was in the way. So I asked the nurse how my daughter would be. She told me my daughter would be okay and for me to go home. I received a call from my youngest daughter about 11 o'clock that my daughter was not doing well in the hospital. I got back to the hospital about 11:30, and when I walked into the ICU, there was a bunch of staff members standing around my daughter's door. When I went in to talk to Joanne Williams, the doctor, she told me my daughter was okay. I wanted to believe that with all my heart, but my daughter looked dead. Her feet were ice cold and her toenails were blue. And I asked Dr. Joanne Williams, why are her toes blue? The doctor rubbed her feet and went out the door. Minutes later, 2 interns came in with an ice chest, and it was bags of blood. And when they got to my daughter's name, they took it out. But Dr. Joanne Williams had not informed me that my daughter had had a heart attack already before I arrived. After they started my daughter's blood transfusion, she had 2 more heart attacks. And then they pronounced her dead January 25th, 2017 at 2:30 a.m. She told me my daughter was okay, but my daughter was not okay. They needed to get rid of the blood. They wanted to show, oh yes, we gave her blood transfusion, even though I believe my daughter was already dead when they started her blood transfusion. If my daughter had received her blood transfusion and her oxygen when it was ordered, my daughter would still be alive. Dr. Joanne Williams said in her summary that she spoke to me over the phone about my daughter's death. That was a lie. I was present in my daughter's death. Me and 5 other family members were present at the hospital. But this doctor says in her summary that she talked to me over the phone. She is trying to cover up the fact that they neglected my daughter. This doctor spoke to me 3 times that night. She spoke to me when I came in and asked her, is my daughter okay? And she told me yeah, and rubbed her feet and left. The second time she spoke to me was an hour and a half later when she told me my daughter was very sick. How can my daughter be very sick when an hour and a half ago you told me she was fine? The third time she spoke to me is when her and another African American doctor came up to me and told me my daughter was brain dead and wanted to unplug her. I pleaded with them not to unplug my daughter. They insisted that my daughter be unplugged. They told me there was no use of keeping her alive. She was uncared for at Long Beach Memorial Hospital of California.